Grant Cardone is the best-selling author of the 10X Rule, and Forbes called him the #1 marketer to watch. He went from being a kid labeled with ADD, almost dying of a drug overdose, to becoming a real estate mogul with a portfolio of $1.5 billion. Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like na 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 na. For my top 10, top 10, na 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 na. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because chances are you are the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Grant Cardone, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, get known.
It does not matter who you know. It matters who knows you. So I'm going to go up, I'm trying to get to Fiji, right? Okay, look, I mean, I could know some people that own places in Fiji, but what if it's already booked? They can't kick them out. But what if people in Fiji knew I was coming? They're like, hey, Mr. Cardone, I want them calling me. I don't want to call them. And so who knows you? We're back to the question of who's got my money? Who's got your money is who knows you. People do business with people they know. It's how business has been done for 2,000 years on this planet. People don't do business with people they trust. They do, but they first do business with people they know. I gotta know you before I trust you. And I would rather do business with somebody I know and don't trust. I do business with people every day I don't trust. Every day. I have to.
Don't you think there's an element of, so for example,
but I know they can get that deal. I know they can get the deal done with me.
Right.
Like the real estate broker, I know I'm not getting quite the truth from him on this or that, but you know what? He's got the deal. I just did 2 deals. I did $120 million worth of real estate deals with the same guy. I don't really like him.
Right.
But I'm doing business with him. And this is not a new thing for anybody. Anybody that's not doing business with people they don't want to do business with is lying. There's somebody. You got people that work for you don't like.
Rule number 2, define commitment.
I think people need to define what commitment is. For me, when I commit to something, the next 2 things that will happen is it will be on a schedule, requires time, and I will invest some money. All commitments, for me, require time and money. If I don't write a check, I'm not committed. If I don't take time out of my calendar, I'm not committed. So if I want to work out, okay, my body starting to cause me some problems, right? So I'm like, I'm committed to taking care of my body. What did I do? Wrote somebody a check, show up at my freaking place every day at 7 o'clock, and I'm going to work out. Okay, that was 4 months ago. I've missed 5 days in 120 days. That's commitment, time and money.
Rule number 3, get new problems.
If you're having problems right now, okay, like if you're having recurring problems, just make a list. Make a list of.
Make sure you guys do what Grant says. Remember, he's a T-Rex.
Yeah. Make a list. Make a list of your recurring problems that you're sick of. The same stuff over and over again. Man, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't get to take whatever the recurring problems are. I can't get good people. I got one person in my office that I depend on, and I'm sick of depending on him, even though he's a producer. Those recurring problems that you have over and over again. You lose deals. You don't like your clients. You actually have clients that you'd like to get rid of. You know how you get rid of bad clients? Get more of them. Okay. So what I do is if I have problems, let's say I'm making $1 million a year, I'm making 1 million, and I'm like, okay, next year, this is what business owners do. They're like, this year I'm going to go from 1 million to 1.2 million. I'm going to get a little growth, and then COVID cracks you. And then you're like, okay, I'll settle for 500 grand now. The problem was you were looking for incremental growth, okay? You know the old thing about 3 steps forward, 2 steps backward, you only get 1 step out of that. By the time a week or two goes, you're like, I'm sick of this. I'm tired, I'm bored, I'm beat up, and your life doesn't change. The trick is that if you would plan out how to get to 10 million, even though you're not, let me just go ahead and asterisk that right now. Don't have a plan to go from 1 to 1.2. Build a plan to go from 1 to 10 million because it's going to give you a new set of problems. Okay? And a takeaway for you today, get new problems. Because if you keep working on the set of problems that you have, you will never solve them. Okay, watch. I got a handful of problems. I'm making $1 million a year or 200 grand or whatever your number is. Pick your number. And I'm like, I'm going to get me incremental growth. How do I do that with the people I have, the time I have, the office I have? Well, what you do is you're like, I'm going to go from 1 million to 10 million. Oh, I need a new office, new problem. Oh, I need 10 people, not 2 people. Oh, I need to spend 100 grand a month on advertising, not 5,000. See, all of a sudden I got new problems. I'm no longer thinking about Pete, what do they call the guy that you're the diva, Jessica. I got to put up with Jessica's bullshit because she's a diva, comes in when she wants, leaves when she wants. She runs the business even though I own it. She tells me what to do. She's really the boss even though I write the checks. Okay, so I'm like, I'm going to go get 20 Jessicas. You follow what I'm saying? I'm going to go build, like a lot of you are worried about debt. I remember in 2008, I owed $50 million to the bank. And I'm like, I told my wife, this will never happen to me again. The bank was pushing me around, like bullying me around like a punk. And I said, Elena, this will never, ever happen to us again. And she's like, what are you going to do to prevent it? I said, the next time this country goes upside down, I'm going to owe $1 billion in debt.
Rule number 4, boss up.
What's your main message on your heart right now to people in this time?
I would pay people. I would look at the things, just like I said about number 1, find out what and who you need to cut. Yeah. Same thing I would tell a household. What and who do you need to cut from your life? Is there some obligation you have that you don't need going forward? Cut it.
Yeah.
Financial. Is there people in your life that you could afford to have in January and you can't afford to have them anymore? You got to cut them. You got to boss up right now. You got to do the tough thing. If you want to take care of your tribe, your group, your family, you have to do leadership. It requires tough decisions, unpopular decisions.
Hey, man.
Evan, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
You got a book coming out, don't you?
You just came out.
Where can people get it?
Get it on Amazon. Easiest spot. Built to serve. Right there.
Let's go, man. If you guys don't know Evan, follow Evan Carmichael. He's got a new book out, Build to Serve. Go grab it today at Amazon. Just a good dude right here.
Rule number 5, lean into social media.
A Meridian Bank in the United States hit me today and said, can you share our Instagram post? I said, yeah, you do. You know I can. Question is, will I? And you know, do you want to know how much it costs? Exactly. So they just gave me a loan for $93 million. They're paying attention to my social. I've raised $223 million in 20 months using Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
So
they should be sharing your posts.
Well, they are. They are sharing my posts. They want to go the other way, right?
A bit.
So you guys out there that are like, should you lean into social? Listen to what I'm telling you. One guy, without a big name, I'm not Merrill Lynch, raised $223 million in 20 months. I paid no fees. What I did pay was the right to be on Instagram. I paid a lot of energy building up an audience, giving content and delivering content to that audience. To a point to where people are like, hey, I like what you're saying right there. I want to give you some money for it. I want to fund your project. I want to be involved with you. I want to partner with you. I want to know more, right? Then I need a landing page. Boom, built a new business. So that came out of charity. By the way, Cardone Capital was created out of charity. I just wanted to educate people how to buy real estate. And then I realized how many people are like, dude, I want to invest in real estate. I don't want to go do it.
Yeah.
That's what most people realize. They don't want to do the work. So, man, social media has been like
Everything, right?
it has been unbelievable that I could be known in Sydney and I haven't been here in 20 years. Like, that is the magic of social media.
Rule number 6, find your drive.
There's a lot of 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds just getting into business, you know, their first round at entrepreneurship, getting beat up, and they're like, man, the younger guys, do I have the energy to compete, right? Can I keep up with them? So what would be your advice to somebody like that, maybe in their 40s, 50s, 60s, just getting started in entrepreneurship?
My best run has been the last 9 years.
Me too.
Not like I was 51. I mean, I have more energy now than I got a reason. I was talking about a friend me and Ed and I have in common. And I'm like, he's got a big advantage though. And he's like, what's that? I'm like, came from another country. We're in America. We've been here the whole time. There is an entitlement. I was born here, raised here. I don't know what goes on in other countries until I go there. So there's a drive from the immigrant that comes here, right? He's got that drive. My drive now is time. And how do I use it? Like Ed was talking about, how do I use my time? Who do I use it with, right? So where do I play my cards? I got a hand, how do I play it out?
Rule number 7, keep going.
Something that you've been saying a lot is never waste a good crisis or never waste a good recession. What do you mean by that?
Well, what happens in contractions like the one we're experiencing now, probably the most severe contraction, certainly in my lifetime, and maybe in the history, the last 100 years, possibly, right? Is everybody does what they do in a contraction. Not everybody, not everybody, but almost everyone goes into non-acceptance of the situation. They go to blame, conspiracy theories, denial. They get angry about it. They lose their job. They lose their position. They lose their targets. They become consumers more than ever before. And they lose track of, hey, where were you going? You know, and so if 7 billion people yesterday, let's say 7 billion people a month ago were on track, big dreams, big goals, like everybody wanted to expand a month ago. Everybody had big dreams, big goals. They're going to change the world. They're going to get their finances right. They're going for whatever they're trying to go for, whether it's a dream house, a vacation, more freedom. And then boom, this thing hits and they're like, oh, I just want to go back to the way it was. So immediately there's a contraction, a mental contraction.
Yeah.
And people give up. I was just having this conversation yesterday. I'm like, look, I've been thinking too small the whole time. I'm telling myself this with 2 key staff people. And I should be thinking bigger right now, not smaller. How do I expand out into this, not contract smaller into this? So the first thing that happens is when you have 26 million people in the United States were let go in the last 4 weeks. I read something today that says the UK housing sales will get cut by 50 to 70% this year.
Yeah.
When that happens, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I just want to sell the 12 homes I sold last year now. If I could just hold on to those 12. No, you should be thinking about, how do I expand into this? Because if you're not asking the right questions, you will go in the direction of your journey. And if you're like, oh, I got to pull over right now, that your journey wasn't to pull over. You were on a journey a month ago. You had dreams and goals. And so when a crisis comes, it's like a speed bump, a flat tire, you ran out of fuel. What do? Dude, you keep rolling, you fix the tire, you refuel, and you keep going. And so don't waste this moment, because we're going to pass. This is going to pass.
Rule number 8, don't get stuck in mechanics.
Elena, she has a very, very magical kind of like think. Okay, she's not stuck in mechanics, and this is something that everybody should try to understand. If you're running something, if you're going to do something big, you cannot get lost in mechanics. Mechanics is, how much does it weigh? How far does it have to be carried? Who's going to carry it? How long is it going to take? It's all that pickup, the weight, the heaviness of an activity. I'm a doer. I dig holes. Like you tell me what to do. I go to the gym, I work out every day. Like it's effort. So I'm an effort. I'm in that effort band, that push, the force.
Rule number 9, go big or go bigger.
In 2008, when 2008 happened, I had nothing to do with 2008. I had 2 businesses and I was starting to buy real estate. And I was not buying the real estate that caused the problem in this country. Any of you remember when Lehman collapsed, your business, if you were in business, your business probably got hurt. I wasn't doing the mortgage-backed securities. I wasn't doing the no money down houses. I wasn't selling that stuff. I wasn't doing mass development on the backs of the bank with bad loans. But because I lived in America and I was doing business at the time, I got greatly affected by that. My first 2 businesses got cut in half and my real estate was frozen up. I owed $52 million to a bank that went upside down. New bank came in. They started making demands on me. I ended up in a lawsuit. Aren't there a bunch of lawyers in here?
Yep.
I ended up in one of these crazy lawsuits where the guy was going under. He had done some things wrong, and he decided to pull me down with him. It was a frivolous lawsuit that was costing me $200,000 a month to fund. I had never been involved in a lawsuit in my career. So that being said, I looked at that situation and said, hey, what did I do wrong here? Like I always look at how am I responsible, able to respond. That is the definition of responsible, able to respond. Now, in my case, I was being forced to respond. It wasn't a lot of able in it. But the one thing that I walked away with was I had a baby on the way. I'd just been married. I just got married maybe 3 years before that. So the marriage was very new. We were really still in the honeymoon phases of our marriage, not really understanding who we were as a team, my wife and I. New baby coming along. I lived in Los Angeles. I lived in a beautiful house up in the hills, overlooking all of LA. And I pretty much thought my life was great until 2008 happened. Now I'm taking a second to get you to what I want you to hear. I didn't plan on 2008. I didn't think about a Lehman collapse. I didn't know 40 million people were going to go upside down in their homes. I did not know it would affect me. I didn't know one of my industries was the automobile dealers. I was working with automobile dealers around the United States. That was my primary business. I was making a couple $1,000,000 a year. I didn't know 9,000 car dealers would go out of business. Who would plan on any of that? Now, what's that got to do with today? Who in their business plan had COVID as part of your business plan?
Let us know in the chat. Put a no in the chat if you didn't have a plan for that.
Yeah. I need to see 316. I need to see one guy in here say, "Oh yeah, I planned on mask. Oh yeah, I had myself going out 1 week buying $400 worth of toilet paper." Okay. Oh yeah, in 2020, by the way, how many of you in 2020, January 1st, you were like, this is going to be the best year of my life?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everybody gave that up. On March 23rd, the entire nation of America gave up, surrendered 2020. Look, the news, the media by April was saying 2020's over. How many of you heard that? I'm throwing 2020 away. Fortune 500 companies, 100 companies, Carnival Cruise Lines, General Motors, Ford Motor Company, like mass companies were like, I'm done. I'm tapping out. This year's over. Wall Street, every day I'm watching Bloomberg right now. Wall Street's like, hey, just throw away all the earnings for 2020. Let's reboot for 2021. The entire nation surrendered. Your kids aren't going to schools. You didn't plan on that, did you? See, this is the problem with the concept. I think I saw somewhere in your promo, go big or
go home.
What's the saying? Go big or
go home.
There ain't nothing at home, folks. There ain't nothing at your house. You're not going to make your business work at home. Okay? Go big or go home or home. You need to scratch that out and say, look, I got to go big or I got to go bigger, because going home cannot be a choice now. And the whole country went home. We've been quarantined. You're going to have 10 million, probably 8 to 10 million bankruptcies by the end of this year. The other shoe is not dropped yet. The stock market's going crazy. The rich are getting richer. And I don't include us on this call as the rich. The rich will get richer. Okay. Why? Because they think big. They think big. They never waste a crisis. And we are in a crisis. And the crisis, if you were in trouble before COVID, you are in more trouble today. And the reason we're in trouble is because people in this country are satisfied, complacent, comfortable. These are the enemy. So if you can take anything away from me, it's like, look, you and your wife, you and your husband, you and your kids must give up ideas of comfort.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is have fun.
I'm doing my life and I'm just figuring it out, right? I want to have fun more than anything. I want to have fun. Like everybody knows me about the money guy and I'm pushing for the money and the real estate fund and doing this and I did that. But at the end of the day, I want to have fun. I bought a jet because I want to have fun. I don't want somebody telling me to put on my damn seatbelt. When I know
shoes in the terminal, yeah.
When I know a seatbelt cannot save me at 40,000 feet. If I'm gonna die in a plane, I want to be all over the plane, and I want to make sure it's mine.
Don't you like the one turn your phone off? Somehow it's going to mess everybody's equipment up. Isn't that hilarious?
So I was the guy that got that reversed.
Oh yeah, you're the first guy ever to record the.
No, I'm the guy that got the reverse. I'm the one that fought the FAA to reverse, turn the bullshit phone off. And I'm like, no, you guys.
I didn't know that. I knew the bird strike.
Oh no, I'm the one that got that reversed, dude. Okay, so I want to have fun, man. And again, I'm going to go back to this topic. You can't have fun if you don't have money. Nobody's telling this story. Like, where are all the rich guys? I'm calling all the rich guys out right now. Come out, tell everybody it's no fun being broke. It's no fun getting by, and you have a blast picking up the check. And not worried about where you're going on vacation or how long you're going to stay or what it costs. It's fun.
Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and how are you going to take action on it this week? When you schedule in what day, what time, and what place you're going to take action, you have a 91% chance of actually following through versus just a 35% chance if you just got motivated but never created a specific plan. And when you share your plan publicly and have some accountability, you increase your chances even further of actually following through. So I want to know your single biggest takeaway and your plan of action this week in the comments so I can celebrate you.
Grant, how did you get past initially letting go of old friends or even family when they're holding you back?
Well, I didn't let go of old people. What I would tell you guys is don't worry about talking to those people or confronting them or handling them. Go get new people. So that when when the average people call you, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, dude, I'm hanging out with Kevin White this weekend, or Dana White this weekend, or Kevin Hart. Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to go spend the weekend with Grant Cardone at a 2-day mastermind. Like, you shouldn't be getting rid of people. You should be adding new people. You know, you want to hunt? You want to hunt like a T-Rex? Go hang out with the T-Rexes.
If you want to change your life for free in the next 30 days, check out my training right here below. Or if you want 10 more awesome rules from Grant Cardone, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy them. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.